Today we are back with our Studying the Pro series where we break down gameplay from some of the best Warzone players out there. Now today we've got a 39 kill win here from FROZONE, who is easily one of the best mouse and keyboard players, but he's also one of the smartest Warzone players, which is something I really want to focus on. Now jumping right in here, I do want to quickly highlight that we are a little bit into this game already. Minute 38 here till this first circle actually finishes closing. They've done the stronghold already, which I do want to talk a little bit more about here in a second. He's got 6 kills and still a very healthy lobby here. Now, when we talk about studying the pros and what I want to focus on today, 2 main things. First is going to be his execution, aim, movement, positioning, game strategy, things like that just allow him to get more kills. But the biggest thing that I want to focus on is his awareness and how he understands where people are. I think a lot of you are struggling, or I've heard from a lot of you that you're struggling with getting shot in the back, not knowing where to go, things like those. So I really want to focus on his awareness today. And one thing he does really well before we get into this, he positions himself really well based on where the circle is rotating to. So we'll really focus on that. Now, starting off here, I do just want to quickly highlight this stronghold. As I said, I was going to circle back to this in a second, just because they do this stronghold in a hot area, and you get this little permanent UAV. You kind of see it going right now, where that's just going to pulse, and that never stops pulsing, and he's going to use that a lot in these first 2 circles. Now, the reason I highlight that is because if you do a hot stronghold, Al Mazrah City, Marshlands, Observatory, Hydroelectric, even Village or Pass, you're going to get that for a while, and you may be able to pick up a lot of kills from multiple teams. Whereas if you do a stronghold out in like Tarak Village or Rohan Oil or something, you may not really get to use that as much. So this is something he's going to use for a while now, and basically 2 full circles he gets to use that. Real quick, by the way, FROZONE's Twitch and YouTube are down in the comments below. Like I said, guys, go check him out. Subscribe to his YouTube. He drops absolutely insane gameplays pretty often. So go check him out. Watch him live on Twitch. Pay attention to what he's doing. It's one of the best ways to learn and improve, just to watch really good players. Now, right here, biggest thing I want you to notice, guys, he just doesn't overcommit. He's using the Sock-In and the X13 auto. So as he peaks this, guys, he just doesn't overcommit. A lot of you may not move here and end up going down, at which point he doesn't have his teammates around. So he doesn't overcommit. He knows that he's by himself, which, look, is going to be a big part of him dropping 39 kills here. A lot of you may not be at that point yet, but we can still focus on those things like rotations, awareness, positioning, and that. So right here, you guys see, watch the permanent UAV. You know, look, the minimap's not nearly as important in Warzone 2 as it was in Warzone 1, because we don't get minimap pings from weapons being fired, or, you know, we don't, of course, my Rebirth players, you don't get the Rebirth dynamic. But right here, he's going to be able to use this. He's going to get a down and thirst. Right here in a second, he's looking, see him looking at the UAV. He's peeking that UAV. He's waiting for it. Now he notices this guy's on his level. He's able to get that down, and he gets the thirst. That thirst is important because, you know, everybody has multiple self-revives. So we take that guy out of the fight. Now he's going to push in here. Notice he doesn't just commit to plating yet. He's got to make sure this building is clear, because he knows, if you go back one further, he knows that this guy's right here. So this permanent UAV, both on his level, he knows that this guy's probably going to push over, so he doesn't commit to plating. And notice how he just goes behind the door, just hides here, right? Use lack of audio to your advantage, because they don't know exactly where you are. That is one advantage of no audio, is you can finesse a little bit. Now he's going to turn this corner. He's going to use his stun, make sure, or his flash, make sure you're using your lethals and tacticals to your advantage, and now he gets caught right here. Now, he goes down, right? He's going to die right here, but guys, this is why I showed you this. He drops 39 kills this game. He is a little bit close to losing full right now. He's getting a little frustrated, but guys, if he loses full right now, he probably doesn't drop 39. So even if you get a little frustrated, regain, win your goose, which he's going to pick up both kills right here using the deagle. He's going to walk out of here with 10 kills, still on a really good pace. Now he's going to play this high ground right here. He's going to be able to tag the first guy. Notice he grabs the 3 plate vest, just something you should be doing in Goosh. And guys, like I said, he's put so many hours into Warzone and aim labs and stuff. His aim is just so good. He's just, and his you know, his awareness and his IQ, and when it comes to Warzone, is really good. So he's going to go ahead and redeploy right here. He's got loadout that's dropping, so he's going to go grab his loadout. You know, this was definitely after the change right here, so we get loadouts in that second circle. A little bit easier to regain, and then we start going back to where he knew there were people. So he's going to grab loadout right here, guys, and then in this moment, he doesn't really know where anybody is, right? He's not 100% sure. What are you thinking? Like, where is anybody, right? You're looking at the minimap going, I have no idea where to go at this point. But don't forget that you died somewhere over this direction towards marshlands. So you can rotate over that way. He's got 3 plates, so he's kind of back. He's ready to roll again. He's feeling confident. He's just got to be smart about how he approaches. One thing when it comes to positioning, guys, I want you to always remember that high ground and cover generally wins. You know, if you have good cover and you have high ground, that's how I'm looking to play a lot of times. I'm always looking to position myself above that enemy, at which point I can shoot down, I can fly into a window, I can fly pretty far. Now he's going to go ahead. By the way, like I told you guys, look at the permanent UAV. He doesn't have a UAV up, but that permanent UAV from the stronghold means he can go challenge this enemy. And notice this guy's a solo, right? This guy's a solo right here, so he's going to go ahead and play it. He sees this guy out in the open, just is able to execute with the Socken right there, which is a really good gun. Now, this next stretch is going to be absolutely insane, guys. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to his YouTube and his Twitch. If you are looking to get better, make sure you are subscribed to me as well, guys. I do videos just about every single day trying to help you improve. I'm over a 3 KD player in this game, and my whole goal, like I said, I just want to help you guys get better, get more kills, die less, pick up a few more wins with you and your squad. So if you are looking to get better, make sure you are subscribed down below. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let's go back in. Permanent UAV. Not 100% sure where anybody is yet, but he's got a feeling there might be people close by. Teammate is also dead, so he's not actually pushing anybody here. I'm going to give this away. There's a buy station kind of over this direction somewhere, so that's kind of what he's working towards, but he's not really full sending the buy station just yet, but he does need to get his teammate back. Now, he's playing a little bit of positioning. Playing a little bit of positioning here, not 100% sure where anybody is. He catches this guy on the roof. And guys, that is a lot of hours on mouse and key. I think he has some of the most game time in Warzone 1, if I remember correctly. But watch how he plays this. And what I want you to focus on is, guys, when we talk about centering your crosshairs, right? Basically putting your crosshairs where you think people are going to be. Look at where he is centered right here. This is something that a lot of you struggle with. He is centered exactly where that guy was. So if that guy's there, he's ready to go. But what you're going to see is he actually peeks right where my mouse is. And what's going to end up happening is it's just a small little adjustment from there. So because he's centered his crosshairs, you see that little adjustment. So as he turns this corner, guys, he's going to put his crosshairs where he anticipates this guy being. He makes that little adjustment, and the Sokken's nasty. I think the RPK is still better because of the range with the RPK, just the fact that it's very easy to use, but that Socken in that mid-range and slightly over mid-range is absolutely nasty. So now he's going to go ahead and push across. He's still kind of working towards that buy station. By the way, notice we got some dots over this way as well. So he's going to push up here.
I'll work it here. I just see.
Yep, he said, I'm going to work it here. He's telling his teammate, working it here, guys, essentially means, like, I'm going to work my way over. I can't full send it. I think there might be people around here. Notice, once again, this permanent UAV from the stronghold allows him to understand that there's a team rotating. And, guys, this next play right here, I don't have many words besides this is just the level that he executes at. You know, mouse and key, no aim assist, but he is just, like I said, one of the best mouse and key players out there. There's kill number 1, there's kill number 2, and kill number 3's right here. I mean, that's just, you see him mixing in headshots, by the way, guys. Look at this third guy. When we talk about a fast TTK, the headshot multiplier on these guns is nasty. So he just absolutely fries those guys. That's where the Socken is a really good option. I'll actually link the video of the gameplay where he gives you guys the builds down in the comments below as well, if you do want to watch it like slightly edited and kind of go through. But let's go ahead. Notice 16 kills. So a very healthy lobby. By the way, I promise you at this point, either him, he's playing with Future Has Game, and I believe Commander is actually a random here. But they notice that he's on a heater. Notice when right here we see a little bit of movement. Guys, one of the biggest tips that I can give you just remember this. I want you to remember this when it comes to awareness. This isn't Battlefield where buildings fall. So anytime you see a little bit of movement, you see that guy moving up top there, that's most likely a player. You know, occasionally you'll get the birds that trick you, but for the most part, it's a player, at which point that you know somebody's around. So if you see any little bit of movement, even at range, right? Even if you're 110 meters away, if you see a little bit of movement, you can kind of assume that's an enemy and start to work that way. He's going to go in and push up. Notice he doesn't just full send this. He works his way around a little bit. He's able to get that precision airstrike, and now he's going to work with Future Has Game. Notice the pinching right here. So what's going to end up happening is Future Has Game is actually kind of, if you were to look at my mouse right here, is aiming at the doorway right about there, and they're going to get a crossfire. So he's going to be able to thirst that guy. Now Fro's going to turn the corner. Pistols go to work, gets the down and thirst. There's the team wipe, and that's just too easy with that spacing right there. 17 kills, and now now they can start to work this buy station a little bit. They've got the cash, guys, but you can't just full send the buy station. You got to think that somebody might be around there. Somebody could be rotating. Just throws that in case, and now they work their way this way. Still acting on that permanent UAV, guys, and they have a UAV as well. Now, watch this play. He's going to throw that down because why not? He throws it on top of that guy's stuff. He calls in the cluster strike around where these guys are. He's not 100% sure, but watch this awareness play right here, guys. This is where we start to talk about more awareness. And another big tip that I can give you for today, as he's flying over, I want you to look right here. When you look this direction, you're going to see some shots being fired. And I'll slow this down a little bit. You see how people are shooting over this way? He gets a tag over here. See how people are shooting this way? He comes to his teammate, hey, one up on the hill. So now he doesn't know exactly where they are. All he sees is those bullets flying. But those bullets flying give away that somebody's here. He can figure it out. And right there, I mean, look, he's not able to really hit shots well. That guy's already broken. He's able to pick up that kill. Still kind of working over towards this buy station right here. Can't quite get it yet. There's still a mortar. You know there's still multiple teams over here. One dropping in behind. So he's able to go ahead. Yep, calls UAV. So now we are acting on that UAV as well as still having multiple pings. So guys, one of the biggest things that I want to take away as he's kind of getting this kill right here is just understanding that whether it's a UAV or whether it's a stronghold or whether it's, you know, seeing somebody flying in, which we're going to see him do a lot here in a little bit. Right now, up until this point, you're like, Joe, it's not really a great example because he always has a UAV or a stronghold UAV. That's a fair point that you can make, but that is part of this game. And if you go to a hot stronghold, you can use that to your advantage as well. Also, notice they do have good cash flow here. They gets the jailbreak, which is going to get him let him get a few more kills. Everybody's coming back in. Makes that regain process for other teams easier. But look, I get your point right now of, you know, I don't always have a stronghold UAV to act on. Fair. You can either rotate to it or you want to be driving to buy stations. I think that's one of the biggest things is when you have the mini-map pings, you can start to act on that information. So you want to be driving to buy stations, focusing on that cash flow, grabbing bounties and stuff. And then if you need to, just keep driving. Now, especially for my Rebirth players, but really anybody right here, these red flares just mark a buyback, so you want to use that to your advantage. And I specifically highlight Rebirth and Fortune's Keep because we never acted on those red flares, right? If you heard the buyback before you saw the buyback, right? In this game, you're not, or in this, you know, bigger map, you're not going to hear that buyback necessarily. You're going to have to act on that red flare and just know that somebody's flying back in. So right here, he's going to push across. Notice he's still acting on this permanent stronghold right here. And that makes it easier, guys, but we can still focus on his positioning and stuff as he pushes up this way. Notice he's still just kind of pushing. He's paying attention. Look at his centering right here. Centering's a little low, but he's still kind of putting his crosshairs. This guy could be right around this corner right here, and he's ready for him. Now, still checking UAV. Notices that one's flying in behind, right in front. He's able to switch, able to get those shots right there because the Socken is so good. By the way, let's relax. I know somebody's going to be like, Joe, what about it? What about at 12:43 when he flicked? Because he flicked to nothing. This is just something mouse and keyboard players do to troll people. Watch, he flicks to nothing. He literally flicks to nothing. There's nothing there. What he was flicking on, he was flicking based on this information right here. Arrow above, he's got the dot, he ends up finding the guy, and now he's able to tag him a little bit. Most of the times when you see those keyboard mouse flicks like Fro does or Symphony does, like, they're flicking towards nothing, guys, or they're flicking based on UAV information. Now, I want you to remember that guy flying in. Reason being is right here, that's the only information that he has to act on, right? He doesn't know exactly where this guy is, but he's just going to go ahead and kind of rotate this way a little bit. I'll go ahead and speed this up for you guys. So he's floating. He doesn't know exactly where this guy is, but he pushes up just a little bit. We're going to 2x this now. He's going to plate up, and now what ends up happening is he's going to see this guy right in front of him here in a second. You know, but he's just kind of checking. He doesn't know exactly where he is, besides that he's over here somewhere. The other thing I will say is if he doesn't find this guy, he ends up finding the second one right there. And once again, guys, just execution. I do want to highlight this from a defensive perspective, guys. Look at where FROZONE is. This is the only danger right here. This guy's on a head glitch, right? So the only place that FROZONE can shoot is his head. Head glitches are great except against demon players, because against a demon player, here's the issue. The only place FROZONE can hit right here is headshots. Now, it's tough to hit those headshots, but you got to be really careful because against a really good player, you will get absolutely fried by somebody, and that headshot multiplier is absolutely insane. So going back, guys, if he doesn't see this player anywhere, right, he rotates over, he's not totally sure, he just kind of keeps maneuvering around building to building, trying to see what he can find, trying to see what he can hear. Don't be afraid to disengage, though. You can disengage. He's got one flying over this way, right, so he's just going to go ahead, try to see what he can do. By the way, 23 kills, still 51 other people, or 49 other people still alive. So he knows he's on a really good game. Teammate Com there was one in the big building, so he's going to precision, and now he starts to work his way over again. He's working his way over towards the buy station to see what he can find. If we go ahead and push forward 10 seconds here, still not really finding anything just yet, still working his way over. Now I want you to look to your right. Yep, look to your right. Once again, guys, what do you see right here? This is the little stuff you start to pick up on. And now that you kind of see it, right, watch this happen again. Watch what I said about movement. Remember what I said about movement where it can catch your eye just a little bit? Not sure. You see that little bit of movement over there. You can see it out of the corner of your eye, and all of a sudden he knows where this guy is. Also, I will say that he heard this guy plating or grabbing plates down below. That's how he knew he was in there. So he's not going to push right in. He's going to take a little bit of a jump spot here. Drop shot. He's able to get that team wipe there with the X-13s. But what are you thinking about right here? I want you to think about this. I want you to take a second and think through this. What is your first thought right here? My thought and Frozone's first thought is there's still that enemy that was flying in. So he's plated. He doesn't necessarily need anything, but if this guy's rotating out in the open, he wants to know. So he's going to go ahead once again, position on high ground a little bit. He doesn't know exactly where he is. Yep, go ahead and hit that jump. You can hit this jump. I guess he's not going. He's going to push up this way. He's going to try to get high ground, guys. High ground's really good in this game. There's no doubt about it. And understand, when we talk about high ground, I want you to pause because he's about to shoot this guy. I want you to understand there is a big difference between camping on high ground and positioning yourself on high ground. Positioning is giving ourselves the advantage so that we can then rotate, then we can push, pick up a kill. And end game's different, but in early game and mid game, you know, positioning is on top of a building so you can get a knock, you can get a thirst, you can rotate in, something like that. Camping is if you have no intention of moving, right? You're not engaging anybody, you're just simply waiting. That's the difference between camping and positioning. So just be careful with that, saying that people are just camping there. Don't get me wrong, people camp in this game, but, you know, understand that slight difference there where if I go ahead and I push on top of a building, but I mean, between the sock and being that good, which, like I said, mid-range right there is nasty, and his level of execution, these people don't really stand a chance. Now, notice that guy's still just, you know, he's not 100% sure. Oh my gosh, I didn't even catch this the first time. That's 100% the permanent UAV, isn't it? That's the permanent UAV. So once again, guys, we get this permanent UAV in Marshlands that allows him to understand that there's one close by right there. Now he's going to go ahead. He downs this guy again. I actually didn't catch that the first time, that on the minimap, he's still getting that permanent UAV. He knows one's over there, which is why he looks. I think a lot of you would probably say that was a little bit sus for him to look over there. Well, we look at the minimap right here. We know exactly where he is. Now he can go ahead. Look at the positioning right here. Yep, he's going to use his lethals and tacticals. He uses his lethals and tacticals really well. So Semtex in. Yep, and now he's dead. Yep, nothing that guy can do. 27 kills. Now let's really focus on endgame here, guys. We're starting to get to that point. Gouge is not close just yet, but we're getting close to that point. He doesn't have Gulag anymore, so he's got to be careful about that. He is still playing on his own. Surprised he doesn't check for a UAV, although he might have bought it. I think he bought a UAV there previously. I probably still would have checked. Let's talk about this, guys, real quick. Fro was on a heater. Why did he drop money to his teammate? He dropped money so that if Frozone dies, his teammate can buy it back. So he wants to make sure that everybody has enough to buy him back, just in case anything happens. It's something that you can definitely do if you're on a better game, if you're on PR pace, maybe a 15, 20 kill game. You know, if you're having a good game, think about splitting your money a little bit. If your teammate has $100 and you have 20,000, the 20,000 doesn't do you a whole lot if you die. So split that money, you know, make sure that you have enough to buy back. And the other thing I will say here, guys, is don't feel like you always have to buy something. You know, a lot of times we did that in Warzone 1 because we could buy multiple UAVs. Let me go ahead and push this forward a little bit. We could buy multiple UAVs. Did I miss the kill? I missed the kill. He's got 27. We could buy multiple UAVs, right? But in this game, we can save money for other scenarios. Oh, maybe it was his teammate that got the kill. Yeah, it was. Okay. So he's going to go play high ground here. Let's talk about how he plays high ground. Once again, we're getting closer to end game. So now I'm going to be honest, guys, now we can start to camp a little bit. You know, now we can start to camp on rooftops and really focus on playing the best position possible. That's the difference, is when we're in end game and the circle's closing and getting smaller, we're focusing on camping in the best spot possible. In circle with cover, then power position. Right here, he's in circle. He's got plenty of cover. He's going to fly over to this right here, and he's going to calm. There's one back on this wall right here. His teammate actually was pinging him just a little bit or tagging him just a little bit. So now he can roll with the socket. He's able to hit shots right there, which you can see it's a little bit tougher to use at that range. I think it has a little bit more recoil. It could be a little bit harder. And now he's got one right down below. But notice when we talk about camping versus positioning, guys, he's not going to push this, right? He doesn't want to give up his high ground here necessarily just for one kill because he's thinking bigger picture. The bigger picture here is there's 32 other people still alive. So he goes, when we talk about positioning based on rotations, look at this circle right here. What he's going to do is he's going to take a look at the zip over here, right? If I were to ask you, hey, do you think there's a team rotating from like here or maybe across that may want to hit this zip backside and play this high ground? The answer should be yes. You know, that's something you want to be thinking about, is where could people be rotating from that could potentially flank you in the back before you even hear them, right? No audio. So you may not hear the zip. You may not hear the guy right behind you. So you got to be really careful of those scenarios and start thinking about, okay, where could somebody be rotating from? Especially when there's 14 teams still left here. You know, there's still a lot of teams left, and they're not all just sitting in one building. They're definitely spread out here. They're going to be rotating in from different areas of the map, especially because this is the long side right here, guys, right? So you're not going to have a ton of teams over here. You're going to have a lot in the mix over this way, just because of, you know, how big it is and how many buildings there are. 28 kills, still 13 teams left, so we're going to pick up another 11, and we clutch the dub. Yep, he notices one flying over right there. You know, that's a little bit tougher. That's a little bit outside of that range. Trying to see what he can find. Now, he knows there's one still in there, right? He knows that live ping was still in there. And then he comes, hey, there's one on this roof over here. So he's got to be really careful of that team. They have the better position right here. They've got high ground. They've got cover. You know, he's got to be really careful of this team and how he plays this scenario. He doesn't want to full push them because that's a really tough push. What I would probably do, and you got to be careful of this, guys, is basically if you jump to like one of these buildings with high ground, because they have to jump here. So if you jump to one of these buildings and get here and then just kind of wait for them, you're in a good spot. The only thing you have to be careful of is not getting shot down from them, you know, too early. You don't want to over peak that and play that too aggressive and get to the point where you just get absolutely fried. So that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to work his way over, use the mantle to his advantage. Yep, he can fly right over. And look how he's got his cover right here. There's one right there. He's able to get that knock. And by the way, listen to Prox chat. That guy says, don't come up, don't come up, don't come up. Why? Because obviously he's telling his teammate, hey, don't push. Now, watch his positioning right here, guys. Watch how he positions himself. This is where we slow down the pace of play in Warzone 2, right? So he's got one right here. I think this guy's zipped up. I think there was one zipping. So he's going to play this side. Look at the slow. Doesn't see him. Now we play quick and we turn this corner. Look at the centering right here. If my mouse was an enemy, right? He's hitting those shots. He's ready for this enemy. Now, there's nobody there, but he cleared this rooftop. So that's where he doesn't just assume nobody's there. Now he's able to catch this guy out in the open. Not quite. There's a down. No aim assist right there for Fro. No aim assist on mouse and key. Guys, mouse and key's hard. Like, I don't think you understand the level of execution, the level of skill this takes to be able to be at his level with mouse and key. Because it's just, there is no aim assist. There's nothing. Now, he gets caught in a really bad spot here, guys. I'm going to be honest. Because if you notice right here, he only has 15 or what's he have? Like 11 rounds left there. And he's only got 14 in the X13s. He's got to be really, really careful here. Because he's going to go to shoot that guy. Now, all of a sudden, he's not reloaded at all. So he ends up getting a little bit lucky there that guy flew across. He's got this one right here. Once again, not reloaded. He's got cover. That's the biggest thing, guys. This is why cover is so important during Endgame. He gets sniped, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal because he can easily get to cover. He can plate up, and now he's going to reload, and now we're getting back into the fight. So, 29 kills. He's going to pick up 10, guys. I want you to understand how crazy you can go during these end games, picking up a lot of kills. So, he's going to grab one right there, tag just a little bit. By the way, I think his teammates might have stopped shooting for him a little bit and just really helped him, which, look, if you want to focus on maybe his other teammate didn't, but I think Future's helping him out a little bit, really focusing on trying to help Fro get this 40 bomb. And how he loses the 40, I'll give you this, is heartbreaking. So, right here, I don't know what happened to a second pistol. I want to be honest with you. I don't know what happened to the oh, there's the second pistol right there. Maybe he was reloading. He's got 30 kills, still, 17 other people here? And notice, by the way, guys, just one thing to highlight as you continue to improve, you know, you can start to play a little bit more aggressive. He hasn't played it up, but he knows that he's in zone. People are rotating. He knows that his teammates with him, and he has self-revive, right? So kind of a big checklist of things there. But he is going to challenge and play this a little bit more aggressive. Unfortunately, no kill streak there. This is where Fro plays aggressive. I played with Fro before. He's a very aggressive player, and it's high risk, high reward. Generally speaking, because of his level of execution, it pays off for him. But occasionally, you know, it can put him in a bad spot, and he's got to kind of bail himself out. But again, with his level of execution, it's a little bit different. I would recommend that you play a little bit more patient. Play it up, make sure you're in a good position, and then once you continue to improve, you can start to play more great. Like, he still hasn't played it right here. Now he knows, and he knows he's got to play it up, but there's just so much going on, especially with how fast this TTK is. It's definitely an aggressive move. Double nade. I don't know if he's running restock. He might be running restock. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm playing for this check.
Yep. Now, he's playing for the dub here. He's playing for a few kills, but he's got a tough circle pull, guys. This is really out in the open here. It's a really tough circle pull. And he's got to worry about this team back behind. Guys, what he can't do is focus on teams over this way and then just get shot from behind by the team that has high ground. So he's got to be really careful. He's got to kind of worry about them a little bit first.
I don't like it.
Yeah. He said that he's wasting my time. Like, hurry up. Come on. Just push. Like, just peek it so I can fry you, and then let's keep moving. Just checking to see if one's down low. There's one. There's two. One more up top, maybe. God, it's just so... That Sakin's so good, and his level of execution's another level, guys. Okay, so now he's got 6 other people. He's got to kill the rest of the lobby for the 40 bomb. And I will tell you this, he has the opportunity for it. There's one rotating across. Team wipe right there because this guy has to rotate, right? This guy has no choice but to push across. Fro's a little bit ahead of this guy and doesn't have to move as quickly because he's in a good position. He's got a good, he's not quite in circle, but he's got cover and he's got a better position than that guy. Okay, one over this way that his teammate got fried by. So he's going to go ahead and play. Notice once again, when we oh my gosh, he just, biggest thing right here, guys, watch the hip fire. Watch the hip fire, with the LMG. It's not an SMG, but he hits it. He has no choice here, by the way. He has no choice but to hip fire, right? Look at how many shots he gets off before he actually ADSs that right there. And he has no choice. He's never going to win this gunfight if he waits to ADS the whole entire way in, which is, it's just, you got to make a move a little bit. You just got to start shooting and hope you hit. Boom, right there. He's able to get that knock. Now got to worry about another teammate. There's the team wipe. So now all of a sudden, you know you're okay. If you don't get the team wipe there, got to be a little bit careful because... Yeah, 2 duos. It could be 3v1v1 or 2v2v1. But you got to, if you don't get that team right there, you got to be ready for that second teammate. Yep, so his teammate's doing a good job of giving him information about where he might be, basically filling him in on where some enemies are. He's got, I mean, there's one right there. Watch this, by the way. I actually want to, hold on.
In the water, bottom left.
Did you hear his teammate? Guys, that's a good teammate right there. In the water, bottom left, right? Because Fro's worried about this one over here, but his teammate sees this one, at which point Fro knows exactly where he is. He's able to get that knock and down and thirst. Okay, so he's got 38 1v2 situation for the dub. And he's got a really good position, right? He's got a ton of cover. They have to kind of come to him a little bit. They have to rotate. There's a knock right there. He said, I got self. 1v2 still for the 40 bomb. One over this way. There's the kill right there. And unfortunately, the other guy died to gas. So there's the 39 from FROZONE right there. There's the win. So I hope you found today's video helpful, guys. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.